Welcome to Book Nook, the coziest place for book lovers to chat about the stories that shape us. I'm Barbara.
And I'm Marie. And each episode, we dive into the books we love, the ones that challenge us, and everything in between. Ready to talk books? It's time to turn the page.
Hey, how are you?
Hey Barbara, good. What about you?
I'm
TGIF?
good, thank you.
Yeah, we're recording on Friday for once.
Yeah, I'm done with my week. Ready for the weekend.
So what are you doing this weekend?
I'm going hiking in the Yorkshire Dales. It's a beautiful area, an hour and a half from York. And there's a place to get amazing ice cream. So I'm excited because there's nothing I love more than ice cream in life. And you, what are your plans?
I think we're gonna visit new areas in Montreal tomorrow and then hopefully go swimming on Sunday because it's getting
That's
warm
exciting.
and I really want to go to the beach. I think that's something that I really miss about, being abroad because when I was in France, we would go to the south of France. My partner's from there. So Mediterranean Sea, having a book at the beach, enjoying the sun.
Yeah,
And
that's what I missed when I lived in Montreal. So now, it's my rule to go at least once a month to the coast. It's not far from where I live. And just, I enjoy reading a book on the beach, just listening to the birds, the waves. It's so peaceful.
that's why I love summer for that.
Yeah.
Quiet afternoons at the beach, a very good book, a page turner, hopefully. So you're intensely in the book.
Yeah, and we've got a page turner for you today. So we're talking about the cozy crime phenomenon, Thursday Murder Club. It's a very special episode of Book Nook today because we love this book. It's a series. We're excited to talk about it. So welcome to this very special episode.
So maybe we can start with a short summary of what the Thursday Murder Club is for the listeners. So it is set in a peaceful retirement village in the UK, and we have four unlikely friends who meet up once a week. Spoiler alert on Thursday, once a week to investigate unsolved murders, what we called cold cases. But what happens is there is an actual killing happening in the community. One of the owners is found dead, owners of the retirement village. And so the Thursday Murder Club, our four retired people, they find themselves in the middle of their very first live case that they're going to work on and help the police solve.
Yeah, we love a bunch of retirees going on adventures and detective purposes. That's so funny.
Yeah. And maybe we can introduce the four characters.
So we've got four main characters. First, Joyce. So it's interesting because in the structure of the book, we've got, of course, the story, but we've also got Joyce diary entries. So it's a nice addition, and I really like these bits. So super interesting. Joyce is a cheeky, sharp-witted diary keeper who narrates the part of the story. She's kind of nosy. She's got opinions, and she seems lovely.
She's the new member of the team. She's new to the retirement. She's new to the retirement village, and she joins the club.
Then we've got Elizabeth. Elizabeth is my heroine. She's a former spy with a steely resolve. She has so many contacts. She knows people everywhere. In the police, in the army, maybe in dodgy people too, in the mafia, I don't know what. And she's no nonsense. She's super loyal. And I think she's the head of the club, really, if you think about it for a minute.
And she's such a badass. She has no limit.
She is. Even at 80, I want to be her when I grow up. So we've got Joyce and Elizabeth for the ladies. And then for the men, we've got Ron. Ron is an ex-union man, so he used to be super involved with union and politics. And it's funny because he distrusts the authority. We've got funny moments with the police. Yeah, he has a gruff exterior, a heart of gold. And finally, we have Ibrahim. So Ibrahim is a retired psychiatrist. So he's a bit of an analyzer. So that's interesting too, because he brings like logic and calm to the group, because sometimes this group can be a little bit excited. So he's a nice counterpart. They all have their own stories, their flaws, their motivation, but like they're friends, they like each other, and I really love the dynamic between all of them. So for sure, it's a big part of the story. It's like who each person is individually and in a group setting.
Yeah, and they are complementary, as you said. We have the leader, Elizabeth, Joyce, fun, nice, nosy lady. Ron, he's more like street smart, and then we have Ibrahim, analytical and like data. It's a very fun quartet that we have.
Yeah.
Also, I just realized we didn't mention that the book has been written by Richard Osman, the author. The author's name is Osman. Good job, Richard, in building these characters.
Yeah, and the first Day Murder Club is the first book of the series. So we like it's important to precise that too, because we're talking about the phenomenon, but it's really phenomenon because he published like 3 other books and the new one is expected in September.
Yeah, and just a few things about Richard Osman, because I listened to the audiobook, and at the end of the audiobook, there is an interview of Richard, and I discovered that it's his first book, The Thursday Murder Club, first book that he's written. And before that, he was writing for TV shows. So yeah, he was writing for TV. I don't remember if he mentioned the channel or anything like that, but it's interesting because the dialogues are really good. And the humor in the book as well, the wit, the characters, how they, speak, and each of their voices, you can really understand like who's whom and like.
Yeah, what you just said about him having experiences on TV, it makes sense because the amount of details, and you can really picture the scene in your head. So if you're a writer from TV, you tend to write description in a lighter way than this big rounded description from the 19th century.
That's true. And also, I don't remember the type of TV shows he would write for, but what he says is he really wanted his books to, let's say, sound English or like have this pop culture references, very Britishness, and also the era it's written in, because when we read a book from a different period of time, obviously the language is different, but also how people interact and so on. And so he really wanted his book to feel like, the TV show you watch when you were 10 in the 90s, or, well, no, we were 10 in the 2000s, but anyway, it feels like it's from the 90s or the 2000s. And for him, he wanted that as well. All the references, like the details of like, oh, the lemon drizzle and the tea or whatever they're eating,
And that's funny for me because I remember telling you when I first read the book, I'm surprised, like it's a global phenomenon because the amount of details about daily life in the UK is insane. Like really, like special TV show habits or products we find at Mark and Spencer, which is the best grocery store in the world, according to me.
I agree.
So I'm surprised, like people abroad were able to understand all the nuances, but maybe they don't need to understand. It's just a feeling of how British it is, in a way.
And that's what makes it special, I think. Us getting this very British atmosphere and characters. And that's one great thing about this novel. We talked about the main characters, but I just wanted to mention 2 other characters. So the police, because obviously there's a murder. We do, even though we have amateur sleuths trying to solve the murder, and we have the Thursday Murder Club, we also have police officers, and there are 2 of them. So we have Donna DeFreitas and what's his name? Sorry, I didn't write it. Interesting. Chris Hudson. Thank you. Oh, wow. How can I forget his name? Anyway, so we have Donna DeFreitas and Chris Hudson. And I love how they have been written, both of them. She's an ambitious young police officer, and she works with a much more experienced detective. So Chris Hudson. And Chris Hudson, oh my God, he's so cute because I don't remember his age. He's middle-aged. I don't know, maybe 40 something.
Close to 60.
Yeah, I don't really know. And he has an issue with food. He likes to eat snacks and he tries to...
Who doesn't like to eat snacks? Especially because here in the UK, we have tea time every day at 3 and you need biscuits. You need snacks. What's tea without snacks?
I know. But he tries to date and it's hard. And the way he's written, it adds a lightness also to the book. Obviously on top of all the lightness, because even though it's set in a retirement village and there are old people, some of them, hear about people dying, obviously, but still like there is light in this book, but he adds something like just hilarious, like the remarks on like what he wants to eat, or he's trying not to eat, debating with himself, like, oh, but if I eat this or that, and oh my God, I love his character so much because of that.
And what's funny is the policeman or the policewoman, the policeman, we meet them like because at the start of the book they come to the retirement village to like have a workshop about security for the retirees. And it's such a funny scene because they explain everything, but it's a group of elderly people and they have alcohol at like 2 p.m. And I remember Donna, the policewoman, she thinks, my God, these people have alcohol. Like, super early in the day. So that was funny.
But I mean, when you're older, I guess you just want to do whatever you want, right? I mean, not whatever you want, sorry, but you're just like here to enjoy.
And I tell you, after I eat 80 every day, I have cake and ice cream. I don't care because I won't have cake and ice cream like in the afterlife. Let me have like what brings me joy, please. I can't wait.
Ice cream for lunch, ice cream for dinner.
Exactly.
You're right. And since, I always have one quote per episode, I have this one quote that I loved from Joyce. And so I'm going to read it. It's, after a certain age, you can pretty much do whatever takes your fancy. No one tells you off, except your doctors and your children. And that's so funny because I think that's also the fact that they're older and they don't really care about consequences. That's what makes them a good detective club.
Yeah.
Because, whatever, like Elizabeth, she has contacts. As you said, she's a former spy. And so if she does, things that are not too legal or, borderline legal, she doesn't really care because, she's this old lady. And so who's gonna, try to...
Yeah. On the subject of age, because I really liked these parts too, about aging, about their loneliness, about dementia, about all of these subjects. It was because you have like the humor, you have the murder mystery, but you have like this philosophical side of the story too. And I really like reading about what it's like aging in a way. And I'm surprised because Richard Osman is not that old, but he described the process of aging in such a beautiful way and insightful way.
Yeah, and also what you said about loneliness. When you think about retirement house, I mean, obviously in this particular case, Cooper's Chase, it's a luxury retirement place, but still they can feel lonely. And I think Joyce, she doesn't have a very close relationship with her daughter. And she talks about that. And yeah, relationship with your family when you're getting older. And, it's so interesting.
Yeah, and the fact that life is so precious, because I don't have the exact quote in my head, but they say when you're after 80 or something like that, like you remember the first time, but you never know what will be the last time. And I like this quote stayed with me because that's true. And if we like see life, even from now on, with this mindset, you appreciate the little things more. I'm getting philosophical, yeah.
We always get to that philosophical time in our episodes. But it's so true that I'm impressed at what Richard Osman has written. And it's not because we have not gone through this period of our life that we cannot understand it and we cannot relate with the characters. So hopefully people get excited about this book listening to this episode because it's worth reading it. And yeah, hearing the voices of these elderly.
Yeah.
I think I mentioned in the previous episode that, and also in this episode, that I listened to the audiobook, and it's read by a famous British actress, Lesley Manville. and she has the perfect voice to, I mean, it's going to sound weird and mean, but it's not meant like that. But she has this old lady voice. And so it was the perfect voice to hear, Joyce.
To narrate this kind of story.
So, because I'm thinking about, I told you guys about the interview at the end of the book, and the interviewer asked Richard Osman if he would have wanted to himself read the book for the audiobook, because some authors do that. And he said that it would not have been the same experience because, Richard Osman, probably he has a nice voice, but not for, embodying Joyce's voice. So I recommend the audiobook very much if people want to get into that.
Maybe I'll listen to it. Because we said it's a series, so we have more books to read. I'll listen to them because
you can do that. It's a
great review of the audiobooks.
That's true. And so we talked about the themes of getting older and relationships with your family and so on. But let's go back to the main theme, murder.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the murders. If I remember correctly, there are 2 murders. There are more if you count the initial case, so the unsolved case they work on. So that's 1 death, and there are different timelines because we also talk about a murder that happened in the past. But anyway, current timeline, 2 people are found dead. They are, I think, owners are partners in the Cooper's Chase retirement village. So they own the land and so on. And so one of them is found dead. And a few, I think, days after, the other one dies as well in a very public setting. Because the first one, he's found dead in his house. Very classic murder. The other one, it's very dramatic. The other one is Ian Bentham. First one was Tony Curran. So the second one, he dies in a public setting. Like literally, he just falls.
Yeah, he drops dead. Middle of the square.
And so it gets, because the interesting thing is the second person dying, Ian Bentham, was a suspect in the first person who dies murder. So that's interesting because then we get one of the suspects being dead, dropping dead. And so there are a lot of questions. A lot of people are being suspected by the police and the Thursday Murder Club. One of them is even close to the club because it's Ron's son. He's also a suspect, I think, because he knew.
Yeah, the boxer, right?
The boxer, yeah. He knew the first guy who died. Also, I think the actor who's going to play Ron's son, it's Tom Ellis. I don't know if you know him.
No way. Okay. The perfect boxer for sure.
Perfect boxer. Very, very attractive. So I'm excited to see him play this role in the Netflix adaptation. Anyway, and so yeah, we have plot twist after plot twist, big reveal at the end. Very, I don't know, classic for a cozy mystery, the reveal at the end. And I don't know about you, but I don't think I knew, how can I put this? The suspense was built in a very...
the last page. And that's unusual because normally I read like many mysteries. I always know before the end, but not that because it was plot twist after plot twist.
Yeah.
And different timelines and interconnection we didn't know about at the start. That's like, Richard Osman did a great job.
Yeah. That's important because, I mean, I don't mind reading a book and guessing the ending as long as I feel like there was an effort.
Yeah.
To build suspense and it was a smart twists and so on. But it's true that in that case, I did not guess until the end. And also oh my God, it's okay. It's not a spoiler, what I'm going to say. We talked about the different timelines. There is a connection that I did not see coming. Like the connections between the past stories and the cold case that they're working on and the present murders. And that's done in a very smart and resourceful way. And I did not see that coming. So I'm very interested in what's going to happen in the second book.
That's exactly what I had in mind.
Because let's just say that at the end, there are some reveals that I don't want to give away too much information, but...
Don't. Yeah. You tend to tease.
Okay, I'm not going to say anything, but yeah, it's the ending with some characters. Yeah, I'm curious to see how that's going to transform into a second story. So We'll see. Well, I actually have the audiobook on my phone, so I can start pretty soon. But yeah.
Great.
I'm afraid of saying too much now.
Yeah. Don't. We let people like discover things themselves.
Yeah, I think for some books it's okay to talk about the ending or, but for cozy mysteries it's better to not say anything.
So the rating now. What's your rating for this book?
Okay, my rating is 5 stars out of 5. I know that I feel like
wow, that's unusual for you. I'm surprised.
I know, I was gonna say each episode I keep giving 5 stars, but it deserves a 5 star. I mean, I'm gonna give arguments to support this rating because otherwise people are gonna think that I'm a nice rater.
You're the good cop.
I'm a good cop. The thing is, it's not because it's a cozy mystery it's not because it's a cozy mystery that the book is simple. It's what we said, like the plot is stacked with multiple murders, different timelines, a lot of plot twists. The characters are built beautifully and are written beautifully. Just for that reason, it deserves a very good rating. And also, I think you mentioned that you liked Elizabeth. Me too. She's like an old lady James Bond type of, retired spy, but also detective. I don't know. She's the perfect mystery protagonist because she's fun. She's bold. There's this scene where she is trying to, I don't remember exactly, but she goes to a police station.
Yeah.
And she wants to talk to Donna de Freitas. I think that's her goal, but I think she also has, a sub reason for going there. And she pretends to have been robbed just to be able to talk to Donna de Freitas. She's the perfect actress, pretending, I've been, or I think that she pretends having robbed her purse, right?
Yeah. And she only wants to talk to a female officer.
So she gets Donna. So yeah, it's just it's a masterpiece because the tone is perfect. It's warm. It's sad. It's hilarious. I've laughed out loud while listening.
I think it's a 5 stars for me too. Yeah, I enjoyed it so much, especially the banter because that's what I like. And I can't wait for the series because I think that's Ellen Mirren who plays Elizabeth. I love this actress. Yeah. She's like the epitome of Britishness.
She's the actress who, she plays Queen Elizabeth in the movie, what is it called? Not the Prime Minister. What's the name of the movie? But I think she plays Queen Elizabeth in some movies, right?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, but I don't remember the title of the movie. But I see what you're talking about.
Okay.
She's the perfect actress for that role. I can picture her playing that scene you were talking about.
Yeah. And also, it's so cute. In the trailer, I saw that they have, or at least she has this sorry, my mic. This necklace with TMC written on it, Thursday Murder Club.
You spotted that. You're a very good detective.
I don't think I would be a good detective, but it's so cute. So I think
don't be too humble.
We're gonna get a very nice adaptation with a Netflix movie, and hopefully
is it a movie or a series?
I thought it was a movie.
Okay.
Apparently, we're not very prepared, or I'm not prepared for this episode because I thought it was a movie.
Okay, we have to check.
But hopefully, they adapt the next books in the series. But wait, let me check because now I want to know.
It's a movie. It's a movie.
Okay, it's a movie. But maybe they can do several movies because there are 4 books and soon 5 books.
Yeah, I hope so. I thought it was a series.
And
because
people
they
remember
the story,
Oh, they could have split the story. That's true. Especially because there are different murders, different plot twists. That's true. Well, I guess they decided not to do that. But remember the date, August 28th for the release on Netflix. That's an important date. And I don't remember the date for the book 5 that is out in September. Well, we have to get to book 5, so I'm saying this, but I have to start the second book. Okay. Anyway, I mean, hopefully this episode has teased people and they want to read it.
Yeah, that's the perfect moment to read the book. Just before the series, not the series. I'm obsessed with this. No, it's not a series. It's a film. Before the film, then you can read the 4 books of the 5th in September. Like, so, yeah, read it.
Yeah.
You want to read it.
Yeah. Thanks for listening, and tell us what's your rating if you have read it.
That's it for this chapter of Book Nook. If you loved today's episode, don't forget to subscribe and leave us a review.
Follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Book Nook the podcast for more bookish fun, and we'll see you next time. Until then, happy reading!